Of the Negro into a separate state, either in this United States or made possible by the United States. Two, you say that war between the whites and the blacks is inevitable.
Yes.
Today we're going to explore this interview, analyze this interview, and try to answer the questions. Why is it so hard for the black man to comprehend the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? We're going to answer, or attempt to answer the question of why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan went to be a civil rights advocate and teacher. He's an integrationalist, and he has abandoned the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Remember this old saying here, actions speaks louder than words. You can say one thing and do another. You could talk one way and act another, an entirely different way. And this is how the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is acting right now. Now, I don't want y'all to think that I'm on the side of young Pharaoh and Seti and all those other guys. This is two different identifications. One are provocateurs and agents, and one is just a hypocrite. And using the platform of Islam or the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to get paid off of. Because what's your intentions always manifest themselves. For example, the intent of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what was ingrained in his heart, mind, body, and soul, was to build up a different world for the black man and to show the black man that he is God, and that in the midst of your enemy that you can accelerate and ascend to moral height, spiritual heights, and material heights. And because man is all of these things. He is matter, and he is spiritual, and he is moral, and he is a scientist. But the black man is more than, since we use that word man as to mean material or matter. Man, the black man, defined by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the word man means mind. And that mind is God. And the word God means the possessor and master of power and force.
Well, they are most essential that we should give the world the answer to such questions. I have been preaching and teaching? The answers to these questions for many years. I give thanks first, Mr. Cox, to God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad around 34 years ago now.
Let's break down that right there. See, let's break down this right here. See, Elijah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was the only one that really believed and understood and comprehended and internalized the teachings of Master Fard Muhammad. And you find most of your teachers, they don't recognize Master Fard Muhammad. They give the Honorable Elijah Muhammad somewhat recognition. You know, like Bobby Hemmett and others, they'll quote from Elijah's teachings. But they never did extend their knowledge to, or never did extend their accolades to Master Fard Muhammad, who taught and indeed is Allah, because no one understands Allah, that word Allah, just like no one understood that word God fully. So the teachers today, including Mr. Farrakhan, they praise the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad always praised his God, our God, if you want him to be your God. One reason, because he looked Caucasian. Now, didn't no one understand the science behind him looking Caucasian? In this day and time, you got a lot of biracial, what they call biracial. But if the Caucasians ever find out that they have a black parent, he would classify them as black, because one drop of black blood qualifies you as being black because of the melanin. Now, that melanin, sometimes people say, well, the blacker you are, the sweeter the juice, you know, the better the melanin. But not necessarily. Not necessarily so. Dr. Frances Quest Wilson said that she pointed that out in her teachings. But let us continue.
And it is very easy for us to recognize the visit of this mighty one according to the time. If we have the knowledge of the time that we are living in, we can accept and respect this mighty visitor in this part of the world to fulfill that which was written of him, that he will come. And now he has come, and he has given out his purpose and his aims, as it also is written in the Bible and Quran. And therefore, I have nothing of myself in this answer. It is all from him. From him you
hear that? Which make my comments valid.
Being the messenger of Allah?
No, not the messenger of Allah. I am the messenger of Allah. I mean from Allah himself, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad.
Who preceded you as the head of the Muslims?
Well, he was actually the beginner. Yes, sir. And
So that's why the Nation of Islam is in so much trouble today. Not because of the fact that they halfway, you never hear him talk about Master Farad Muhammad. They talk about Elijah Muhammad, but never Master Farad Muhammad. And he spent 3.5 years in Detroit teaching. Malcolm and Mr. Farrakhan, they came afterwards. But it was a brother among us that is now deceased. He was a brother of us and a brother of a spiritual and blood brother, excuse me, of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I spent some time with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's younger brother, talking to him, interviewing him about Master Farad Muhammad. Because he was there, his name was John Muhammad, he was there with both Master Farad and Elijah Muhammad. And see, brothers, they don't talk about that history right there too much. For some reason, they didn't like Supreme Minister John Muhammad. And they didn't value and try to get into his mind about those times when he was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And this is what we're going to explore in the next couple of videos. The reason why we are in worse shape now than we was back then, as far as morally, materialistically, and spiritually. Black light.